Did ever you hear how the Ullswater pack once hunted a fox on Helvellyn? He ran them to Mardale and all the way back. The route Reynard took his pastelline. Bob Grizel first viewed him on Bleebury Crags. Bob's hallow resounded to Rydal. On hearing the summons that fox didn't lag, he knew it was no time to be idle. So passed the jug round, close to each hound, his merits a bumper come past the jug round. Ready are thee, fit for the fray. Hi, get away, get away, get away. By Martindale Forest to Patterdale Kirk, by Skidston, Swerdale and Stridon, where Bowman was waiting with fury and Turk, that fox could not creep into hiding. They killed in the open, aye, with a din, fra valley and mountain resounded. When home with their prize to the White Lion Inn, where beer and good victuals abounded. So passed the jug round, close to each hound, his merits a bumper come past the jug round. Ready are they, fit for the fray. Hi, get away, get away, get away.
They call me Tommy Brody, better known as Copper. I was born at Carlisle in 1906. You needn't get your pencils and paper out. I'm 47 in August. Now, I went to Carlisle school till I was 14, and the first job I had was on the thresher with Tucker, Norman and Bleckle. I had a season with Tucker. The next season, I had with Bob Barnes at Carlisle. There isn't many farmhouses with an 8-mile radius a year that haven't had a meal in. From then on, I kept struggling on like, and I started fishing. When we first met at fishing, we fished on days with Ali Robinson. And we worked Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 30 bob a week. Next season, I was promoted. I got on the nights. Now, I fished with some of the old-timers, which I'm going to read to you now. Was all Jack Hayne, Bill Beatty, old Tom and young Tom Morton, Bob Elwood, Jack Heatherton, and Bobber Grinsell. Dan Elwood, retired Bobby, and Davy Edger, used to be a water watcher. The Steeles, Rob, Tom, Geordie, and Johnny, Thomas Phillips, and Duncan McPherson. And my last mate was Fred Atherton. Now, old Jack Hayne used to sing a song. He's the only fellow I ever heard him sing it. He lived till he was 90 years old. And he died in 1947. They call the song The Birds Upon the Tree, and I'm going to try and sing it to you. I am a happy fella, for me name is Tommy Bell. I don't care for your city life or games of bagatelle. Wandering through the wild woods, happy, gay, and free, to hear the warbling of the birdies singing on the tree. The birds upon the tree, the birds upon the tree. What a pretty sight it is, those little birds to see. You talk about your music, the sweetest song to me is the warbling of the little birdies singing on the tree. I often lose me temper 'cause it puts me in a rage to see those little wild birds imprisoned in a cage. Burst your bars asunder, set your prisoner free, and hear the songs of liberty while singing in the tree. The birds upon the tree, the birds upon the tree. What a pretty sight it is, those little birds to see. You talk about your music, the sweetest song to me is the warbling of the little birdies singing in the tree. This young Maud the miller's maid, she's to be me bride. We often take a wander through the countryside beside, and when we settle down in life a cottage it shall be, where we can hear the warbling of the birds upon the tree. The birds upon the tree, the birds upon the tree. What a pretty sight it is, those little birds to see. You talk about your music, the sweetest song to me is the warbling of the little birdies singing on the tree.
No, my name's Joe Thompson. I was born at a large place at Corthitton's full at Foxhounds Galley up in all days of my life. And I was going to stand here now to sing you the Horn of the Hunter. For the horn of the hunter's now silent on the banks of the Elin no more, or in Denton you'll hear its wild echo, clear sounding of the dark old Hughes roar. No for broadcloth of scarlet they downed him, oh the buckskin no rival of snow, and plain scud the grey was his garment, oh he wore it for use not for show. Full 40 long years have we known him, a Cumberland yeoman of old, and thrice 40 years will have vanished, oh the fame of the deed just proved cold. Now I'll sing you up royal and ranter, old bellman and melody and true, when they rattled the foxes round Carrick, and they pressed him from Chase till full view. And often from Brighton to Skiddow, through Isleby, Waldeth, Whitefield, we've galloped like madmen together, oh to follow the hounds of John Peel. So each time when the night draws its mantle, and tired from fox hunting I'll steal, our children will fast say father tell us some tales of the fast say father tell us some tales of the famous John Peel. And may we long hunt with each other till the end of old age you can feel, and men for you are sportsmen and brothers, so remember the hounds of John Peel.
My name is Robert Forrester, and I was born in Cumberland. I come of border stock, and my grandfather, Joe Forrester, was well known around Newcastle for his fiddling at country weddings, barn dances, corn suppers, timber raisings, and other gatherings. This border waltz, which my friend Norman Alford and me will play, has come down to me with the fiddle my grandfather used to play it on. The two instruments that you're to hear it on is a mouth organ, played by myself, and a tin whistle by Norman. As far as we know, this tune has never been published, and no printed score is known to either of us. My name is Robert Forrester, and I'll sing you this song of Copshawholme Fair, a song of the border, where my ancestors hailed frae. It is a story of the country fair and the hiring of farm servants. This air, played by my friend Norman Alford, has, you may have noticed, a strong Scottish flavour, and together with a tin whistle, much used at northern fairs in days gone by, matches the wildness of the border country. On a Friday it fell, in the month of April, over the hills came the morn with a blithe sunny smile, and the folk were a-thronging the roads everywhere, making haste to be in at Copshawholme Fair. They were seen coming in from mountain and glen, be'ath rosy-faced lasses and strapping young men, a-jumping with joy and unburdened the care, when meeting old friends at Copshawholme Fair. For there's lads for the lasses and toys for the bairns, there's jugglers and timblers and folk with the arms, a blues ballad singer's here and a fiddler is there, with nutman and spiceman at Copshawholme Fair. And there's peddlers and potters and gingerbread stands, peep shows, puffing darts and the great caravans, and there's fruit from our nations exhibited there, with kale plants for a hike at Copshawholme Fair. And know about the hiring, if you want to hear tell, you shall ken it as far as I've seen it mysel. What wages the earl, 'tis ill to declare, oh muckle the vary at Copshawholme Fair. Just yen I seen Hyatt, she was a strapping young queen, he speared what her age was, and where she had been,
what work she'd been doing, how long she'd been there, what wages she wanted at Copshawholme fair. Just then the bit lass stood a wee while in gloom. She blushed and she scraped with her feet on the ground. Then she plucked up her heart and did stoutly declare, I'll have £5.10 at Copshawholme fair. Says he, but my lass, that's a very big wedge. Then turning about like it'd been in a rage. Says I'll give the £5, but I'll give any more. And I think the man took it at Copshawholme fair. And then he pulled out the shilling to hurl the bit wench, in case she might enter a morality flinch. But she grabbed it at muttering, well, I should have had more, but I think I will take it at Copshawholme fair. And now the hiren's over, and off the horse bang, into the ballroom for to join the throng. For I never will lie with me mammy nae more, the fiddles play briskly at Copshawholme fair. And there's yen in the corner sits supping his gill, another beside him is drinking his yell, and another is stripping and swaying right sir. Rum will you not give me at Copshawholme fair? No, this is the fashion, they thus pass the day, till night comes at last, and then they hally away. For summer she's sick, that they'll never do more, we dancing and fighting at Copshawholme fair.
My name is Joe Thompson. I was born in a large place like Gothet, and I was going to night singing the Welton Hunt. I've sung it for over 30 years now. The day been appointed which proved fine and clear, when a host of good sportsmen on Welton Green did appear. For they came from amongst them with fame and renown. Jimmy Knox he brought with him Colonel Sokel's foxhounds. Hark for the way, hark for the way, all together good hounds, hark away. We tried Tansy Bog, the hound spoke Reynard's there, and into our saddles we soon set square. Tally-o from Dr. Doughty set the horses blood high, and away they did gallop with hounds in full cry. Hark for the way, hark for the way, all together good hounds, hark away. Down by the Ling side we went a great pace, but swinging right-handed by Parkhouse did race. Passing Rose Castle till Home Hill were bent, but swinging left-handed by the Oaks we all went. Hark for the way, hark for the way, all together go down, hark away. No doubt Mr. Fox had begun to relent, so he called at the vicarage's sins to repent. Then on to Wafts to give them one more call. From there many a roaster he'd borne to his hall. Hark for the way, hark for the way, all together good hounds, hark away. Then asked for Cummers daily next at his musk, but found with hounds pressure 'twas too big a task. Turning right-handed he passed Dalston Hall, where he put in the dodges that baffled them all. Like for the way, like for the way, all together good hounds, hark away. No, getting exhausted with such a long chase, he thinking that Dalston might prove a safe place. So he made to the garden behind Manor House, where he was bowled over amidst the grand roos. Hark for the way, hark for the way, all together good hounds, hark away. to all sportsmen that hunt the sly fox, likewise to the farmers whose land they've to cross. Also to the people that love to hear tell of a trinket good run that ends with a kill.
Hark forward away, hark forward away,
all together good hounds hark away.
My name is Jimmy Nixon. I'm a farmer, farming at Pastry. That's at the end of the Calder Valley. I was born at Linstocky in 1902, where my father was farming, and my grandfather afore him. We came to Pastry in 1921. It's about 148 acre, mixed farming. Like most of our neighbours, we were short on minded then, but we've changed to black and white, that's Frisian. Then this tested job come along. Now many farmers fought shy about this, but it's now recognised that Cumberland and Westland must be a clean area, so I'm pleased I've played my small part. We have about 50 half-bred ewes as well, and make the lambs fat and sell them about February, off turnips. Now the wife is penetrated you among the poultry. She keeps us all right, and feeds us galley well, and tries to keep the Buxton income tax man right. Now at Saturday nights I sometimes get up to the crown and have a pint, like the crowns at Broadfield, and I sing this song that my grandfather used to sing, the Keach and the Creel. Now it's skin she went out and ate some fresh fish for to buy, and the wee town clarkie heard her fit and he followed her instant lie with the rank-a-dank-a-doo-dum-day, rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day. Now if thou can get to land, they're full 60 feet and 3. It'll reach up till the wind is still, and I'll come down to thee with the rank-a-dank-a-doo-dum-day, rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day. Now we couldn't get to land, they're full 60 feet and 3. But he got a rope and Creel, and his comrades load him wheel with the rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day, rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day. Now the old wife couldn't sleep that night for something she had heard. For a lamb my life, said the silly old wife, there's a man in me daughter's bed with the rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day, rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day. Now the old man got up to see if this was true, but she clasped her true lover in her arms, then closed the curtains drew with the rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day, rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day. Now the old wife wasn't content with this, she got her cell, and thinking the old wife's fit, and into the creel she fell with the rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day, rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day. Now his comrades at the bottom thought this was nothing new. They thought it was the way to Copshawholme the Creel the drew with the rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day, rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day. Now when they saw it was the old wife, they let the Creel down fall, and 5 or 6 of the old wife's ribs went knock-a-knock again the wall with the rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day, rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day. So it's here's to the blow, the bonny blow, the blow that I love weel, and every old wife that's jealous of a dove that should be rocked in the canty old creel with the rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day, rack-a-dack-a-doo-dum-day.
Well done, Jerry. Well
Now,
done.
Mr. Vessel.
My name is Irving Nicholson. I was born in 1892 in Seberham Parish at a lal cottage they called Owdio. I went to Welton staying across scale till I was about 14. Then I was hired, and mind I'll never forget that place. Do you know what we had for Christmas dinner? Blotter and tatty stew, but mind I didn't stop there so very long. I started travelling. And this is how I picked this song up that I was going to sing till you know. It's called The Copshawholme Butcher. It was of a brisk young butcher from Copshawholme he came. He travelled from Newcastleton upon a certain day. He says, a frolic I will have, my fortune for to try. So he set off to Morpeth, some cattle for to buy. Now when he arrived at Morpeth, they lighted at the inn. He called for an ostler and boldly stepped in. He ordered whiskey of the best, for he was roaming blind, and pleasantly fixed his eye upon the chambermaid. He asked for a candle to light him up to bed. And when the maid came in the room, these very words he said, 1 sovereign I'll give to you, for to enjoy your charms. And all that night that lovely maid lay in the butcher's arms. He rose early next morning, prepared to go away. The landlord says, your honour, sir, but you forgot to pay. Oh, no, sir, says the butcher, you need not think it strange. 1 sovereign I gave your maid, and I haven't got the change. Now about 12 months after, he came to town again. He did as he had done before, he lighted at the inn. He went into the public house and sat down, you see, and she brought a baby 3 months old and placed it on his knee. Now the butcher did wonder much, and at that kid did stare. But when the jockey did find out, away did cuss and swear. Aha, says the chambermaid, you need not think it strange. 1 sovereign you gave to me, and I've brought you back your change.
I was going to sing you the hunting song, Joe Bowman, and I think if anybody was fit to stand in John Peel's shoes, it was all Joe. 'Twas out town we met with Joe Bowman at dawn. How the grey hills re-echoed the glad sound of its horn. And the charm of the note sent the mist far away. Oh, the fox from his lair at the break of the day. When the fire's on the hearth and there's good cheer abounds, oh, we'll drink to Joe Bowman and the old water rounds. For we'll never forget how we woke us at dawn, with the crack of his whip and the sound of his horn. With feet that were lightened and hearts that were gay, to a right smittle spot we all hastened away. The voice of Joe Bowman rang out like a bell when he cast off the hounds by the side of Swarthfell. A voice of the hunter, it startled the stag when a fox came in view on the lofty broad crag. Tally-ho, cries Joe Bowman, the hounds are away. Let's join in and follow the musical brave. Over Keach he took us, we're soon on his track. Now you're following me lads, the good old water pack, which got to that fox and effected the kill by the silvery streams in that bonny ram's gill. For his head's on the crook and the bowl is below, as we all sit around this bright fire's burning low. Our songs they are merry and chorus is high. Let's drink to all hunters that join in the cry. When the fire's on the hearth and there's good cheer abounds, let us drink to Joe Bowman and the Hullswater hounds, for we'll never forget how we woke us at dawn with the crack of his whip and the sound of his horn.
Oh, my name's Wat Graham and I belong to Longtown. As you know the Steen Grahams you can. If you'd went in and asked for Dave Graham or Tommy Graham or Wooly Graham or John Graham, there were very few people could have told you where they were, but if you'd gone in and said, no, we want Dave Steen, or Tommy Steen, or Wooly Steen, or John Steen, they could have told you right away where they were. You see, I went by different names, you see, they got names, aye. And, of course, there's an half a crew of Grahams around about there. There's the Cooper Grahams, and I couldn't tell you other ones. Louder? Yeah. And, both my father and mother were both Grahams, Dave Graham and Jane Graham. Now, if I could tell you a wee bit story, would I have time to do that now? Aye. A wee bit story about Jane and my mother when she was out gathering turkeys. And this was at a farm, the Hornakill. And there was a lad there they called Malcolm. Whether that was his first name or his second, I couldn't tell you, but Malcolm. And the Hornakill, the first thing they got at dinner time of them days was a big rhubarb dumpling put on the table. And they'd eat a lot of that, so I would think that they couldn't eat much else after. But he always come out holding himself, and he wasn't along in the field, he had to run away, you know, back of the dike or something. and he says to me, mother, when he come back, he still hadn't himself. He says, hey, Jane. He says, I wish rhubarb had never been born. No, I don't think I can say very much more, can I now? I would like to play it, though. The Cumberland reel on the melodeon, I have it here with us.
born at Wreay in 1879. I've been singing the Lish Buy-a-Broom for 40 years. It's said that William Graham, the Cumberland poacher, wrote this song. The song's always been sung in the village of Wreay, as far as I know. Off. As I was a-wandering the north country, near to Kirby Steven it happened for to be. As I was a-wandering all up and down the street, a pretty little Buy-a-Broom I chanced for to meet, and she was right, I was tight, everyone will have their way. For it was a Lish young Buy-a-Broom that led me astray. I kindly asked her to go along with me. Yes, was the answer I gave to her. And I with the music went playing down the street, and she with the tambourine, she bed both hand and feet. And she was right, I was tight, everyone will have their way. But it was a Lish young Buy-a-Broom that led me astray. And as we steered for Kendal, the weather had been fine. Over yon bright mountains went her and I. We each had a bottle pulled up to the top. When we were thirsty, we took a little drop. We were right, she was tight, everyone will have their way. But it was a Lish young Buy-a-Broom that led me astray. We arrived in Kendal, being dressed oh so fine, velvet caps and jackets and buckles they did shine. With each a long ribbon hung down from her caps, 19 bright sovereigns she threw down in a slap, and we were right, she was tight, everyone will have their way. But it was a Lish young Buy-a-Broom that led me astray. I threat her with brandy, I threat her with beer. I kissed her, I cuddled her, I called her me dear. She threat me with whiskey, both ale, gin and rum. And she said, my bold young fella, you shall play my little drum. And we were right, I was tight, everyone was away. Young Buy-a-Broom that led me astray. The night now coming on, good lodgings we did find, all sorts of eatables and plenty of good wine, as good a bed and bedding as was needed to be seen. And I rolled her in me arms that night behind the street. I was tight, everyone will have their way. I was a Lish young Buy-a-Broom that led me astray. So early next morning, before the break of day, oh my God, she called to the landlord to see what was to pay. 14 and sixpence, I think it was for two. Down on the table, a fiver then she threw. 'Cause she was right, I was tight, everyone. It was a Lish young Buy-a-Broom that led me astray. And the reason why we parted, I mean to let you hear. She wanted me to go to Germany to remain her dear. And I not been willing to cross the raging sea. Here's luck to the Buy-a-Broom wherever she may be. And we were right, I was tight, everyone will have their way. But it was the Lish young Buy-a-Broom that led me astray.
My name is Jim Mathers. I was born at Chalkfoot in Cumberland, 1878. I'm 75 years old. I'm going to sing a song to you called Tunkle Pete. I've sung this song for over 50 years. Is that dear? I'll sing you a song of my Uncle Pete. He buttoned his eyebrows round his feet. He put his feet in the water to keep them dry, and he went to plough with a blue-tailed fly. Oh, what an afternoon. He polished his socks with pumpkin squash, and he always sent his teeth to wash, and he dined as a rule in the Carlisle file in a 3-pair back in Haverstock Hill. The roof of his mouth was stripped with wet, and he put his boots on over his head, and he always moved his legs when he walked, and he generally spoke when he usually talked. His trousers sleeve were a bright green red with a velvet colour of white black lead. The white of his eyes were pink and brown, and he put his shirt on upside down. He had a gumboil on his chin, he curled his lips with a rolling pin. And his best for the bed was a sandstone board, and he slept wide awake to see heavy snort. He was very fond of a sawdust pie with a guinea pig egg and a periwink eye. He picked his teeth with charcoal jam, and that's the sort of man I am.
The plaintive air you've just heard on the tin whistle is Corby Castle. It is an air that tells of the tragedy of a young couple drowned in the River Eden. The song has come down to me from my grandfather and my father. It's a great favourite in the country inns of northeast Cumberland. Mary lived at Corby Castle, as fair a maid as e'er was seen, and Willie was the squire's vassal, whose mansion stood on Wetherell Green. For long despair the troth had blighted, cloudless all the joys had been, when Mary first had heard delighted young Willie's vows on Wetherell Green. The gay festoons were entwining around yon nigh encircled tree. Youth and beauty were combining, voices bright and footsteps free. On Mary's brow was decked with flowers, she was made the young May Queen. Then when the priest his blessing showered, she was Willie's bride on Wetherell Green. Oh, but alas, a night of mourning hallowed all that happy day, when from a pleasure sail returning, their boat was swamped upon the way. Beneath yon dark and silent river, where the rocky caverns screen Eden's dark waters were concealing young Willie's bride of Wetherell Green. So thus when sweetest joys surround us, we little dream of sorrow's night, until the fairy spell that binds us breaks to leave life but a sigh. And in yon churchyard by the river, an aged yew tree may still be seen, guarding o'er two flowers withered that once bloomed fair on Wetherell Green.
Now, I've just come into the Plough Inn, and Jack Mounts here asked me what I do with these +4s on. Well, being the pest officer, I wear +4s. But however, I'm finished with that work for the day, so I'm going to sing you John Peel. Do you ken John Peel with his curtsy grey? Do you ken John Peel at the break of the day? Ye ken John Peel, and he's far, far away, with his hand and his horn in the morning. 'Twas the sound of his horn brought me from my bed, and the cry of his hand as me oft time fled, for Peel's view and low. Would awaken the dead, or a fox from his lair in the morning. And I followed John Peel, though often and far, o'er the rasper fence, or the gate or the bar, frae Low Denton Hall up to Scratchmere Scar, where we vied for the brush in the morning. All together, 'twas the sound of his horn brought me from my bed, and the cry of his hound as me oft time fled, for Peel's view of low. What awaken the dead, or a fox from his lair in the morning. Then here's the John Peel, with my heart and soul. Come drink to him, lads, come fill up the bowl. We'll follow John Peel through fair or through foul, if we want a good hunt in the morning. 'Twas the sound of his horn brought me from my bed, and the cry of his hound as me oft time fled, for Peel's view. Would awaken the dead, or a fox from his lair in the morning.